Hey guys, Big Mike. I just wanted to, tonight we're going to do, it's not a normal stream night. I wanted to go through and I'm going to do an extra episode of just going through and identifying all my loot. I've got about 7 or 8 tabs of loot here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shift click through a bunch of this stuff and let you guys see kind of what we end up with. This is one of the unnecessary or necessary evils of the game is you end up with a tremendous amount of loot, and you have to use wisdom scrolls on everything. So I'm going to kind of click through everything, several tabs full of stuff, and if you want, we'll kind of step through all these items and I'll list several for sale. Hopefully I don't get hit up too many times by others that I've got for the stuff I've got for sale, but pretty much clicking everything here, red or not, and some stuff remains red because I can't use it. I'm going to try and focus on just red stuff now. Probably going to double click some items, but the cool thing is what I was telling you guys in earlier episodes, if you go out and you work on your, if you want to spend a little bit of money on the game, I would suggest you buy some stash tabs, buy some quad tabs, so that you, and buy them during the discounted time zone when they do discounts on all the different stash tabs and all that type stuff. Buy them and use them for when you want to play the game. Especially if you're a streamer, if you're going to stream, it's pretty much mandatory that you have somewhere you can just jump back, dump all your inventory, and then keep streaming, because people get a little bored with you doing this kind of stuff. Some people enjoy this, so that's why I'm doing just this episode. This is an extra. This is my night off. I'm doing this on my night off to show you guys just kind of what loot I've got. Some folks enjoy that, so we're going to go through and kind of see what all we ended up with the last 3 or 4 nights of running maps, or I say maps, acts 1 through, or not 1, acts 6, 7, and getting ready to do 8. So let's see here. It's kind of hard to do this. When you're hovering over stuff, you get this extra little information that sometimes kind of obscures items on you. But let's see here. I think that's all. There's one there. All right, cool. So we've done the first 4 tabs. See if I can get through this couple more tabs here, and then we'll kind of go back real quickly and look and see what we've got. And this is all stuff, literally, I just dump it into these tabs so that I don't have to spend, while I'm streaming, I don't have to show, you guys don't have to wait on me to see what kind of cool loot I got. And I've got about 1,300 wisdom scrolls in hopes that I would not run out on these kind of adventures. So it's kind of cool. I even do the magic items, because a lot of times you'll run into what a lot of people say, don't pick up magic items, they're not worth it. If you pick up a magic item and you identify it with a wisdom scroll, you ultimately, from my analysis, you actually end up with more orbs than if you had not. So it's quite honestly, it's a little bit better to go ahead and just use the orbs, the wisdom scrolls on them, and get a little bit better orb returned. Your transmutes quantity will go up. Your alteration quantity will go up, because some items are worth alteration shards. An item that's blue that you turn in might only be worth 2 alteration shards, and you identify it, and it may be worth 4 to 6 or 8, depending on the quality of the item. So I often go ahead and do that. In the long run, it's worth it. Not everybody thinks that, so do your own research and see what you think. Let's go ahead and move this guy. I'm trying to move all the the items that came from syndicates into a syndicate tab, because I haven't identified all those yet. And of course, I still have so I've done 4 tabs, and I still have 1,224 of my wisdom scrolls. So let's see here. I think I got them all here. All right, so shift right click on this and go to dump 5, which is my dump zone. So I'm even doing the flasks, because even though the flask, I probably just need to trade a lot of those in. I pick up every flask. It's just, I've got that set in my mind to, I'm picking them up no matter what. So we're gonna meet this guy real quick for this sale. All right, let's see what we can do here. And then I'll turn on Do Not Disturb. I want to do this one and let this guy get this item.
Hello.
He wants a golden buckler in the stash tab. Let's see. Golden buckler. There we go. So it's N1. It's this one right here. Trade. 3 alts. Oh, he gave me double. All right. There we go. You wanted both of them, so I didn't realize that. There we go. So that's how a trade works. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and as soon as see if he replies, we're going to turn on Do Not Disturb. /D&D turns on Do Not Disturb. You can actually type your own message, busy streaming, something like that. And now when people chat to you, it'll say busy streaming to them. So that's actually a easy way self-marketing. So let's do this. /D&D Big Mike Games busy streaming on Twitch/YouTube. So now they're going to see my message. It's free marketing. It's pretty cool. So you just type /D&D and then whatever message you want. This way I end up getting free marketing for my Twitch and YouTube streams. Hopefully they check me out and enjoy the videos. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the videos. And we're going to go right back to identifying all this loot. If we can, I think I got everything in this tab here. So dump 6. So all the flasks, like I was saying before, I've got a tremendous number of flasks. And unfortunately, it's just, I can't let a flask go. If I see it drop, I got to pick it up. And ultimately, they're really not, most flasks are not worth anything. When you're low level, you want to pick up every one of them you can so that you can kind of level your flasks and use them for as you're leveling up. But once you kind of get a little bit higher, just pretty much don't pick them up or trade them in unless you get good level flasks. All right, so let's see here. I think I got everything. Oh, there's a few corrupted. There's an unidentified there. All right, awesome. So we've identified everything in the, I actually have 7 total dump tabs. So now it's going to be a massive effort of, let's look at magic first, or normal. So what I do first, I look at normal. And what you'll find is a lot of times the normals are just literally the chromatics. So let's look for the chromatics first. We'll grab those and then we'll trade those in. That's essentially a chromatic is green, red, and blue linked. And we're going to go through each of these tabs real quick and grab the chromatic ones. Wow, this one's full of belts. It's a lot of belts. There's one chromatic one. And here we don't have, there's a couple. There's one. So some of these things take up a lot of space. I'm not sure if chromatics are always worth that, but you know, when you're playing the game, you're just running real fast. You don't want to do a whole lot of inventory management. There's one. So let's go ahead and sell them to Navali. One thing you can do is when you get your hideout is put your stash tab really close to somebody that can buy your items out of inventory, so you don't have to run to another location. All right, so let's see, dump 4. There's another chromatic. It's kind of hard to see some of them. There's one. There's one. So far we've gotten 7 chromatics, and I already did this once earlier today to try and clear out some of the inventory. There's one. Wow, there's a lot of them. There's a chromatic. There's one. We can only take one more set of boots or something, and I think that's good enough for now. So let's sell. So these are things I would not have normally picked up. So I've now gotten 16 chromatics already out of just having the loot filter turned on. Let's see here. Don't see, there's one. Shield. That's not one. There's a bow, that's one. There's a bow, that's one. So bows are kind of tricky. There's some really good bows, and then the majority of the bows, though, quite honestly, you come across are just junk. There's one. But I don't want to get rid of, like this sniper bow here. It's got 5 greens. Even though they're not all linked, that actually can sell pretty well. Here's a 6 gemmed tiger sword. That may sell. Here's a 6 bow here. Here's a 5 bow. But the 3s, the ones that are just 3s, I'm just gonna vendor those. Let's just working on getting some extra chromatics. All right. So now we're up to 26-ish chromatics. Now some of the magic ones will also be that. We're just doing the normals for now. I don't see it. There's one right there. The tiger sword, I should sell that one, but I'm gonna hold off just in case. It might be worth something else. All right, so now I'll go back and type magic. And let's see what we've got here. That I'm not gonna get rid of 6 gem slotted items. The brute one, I'm not gonna keep that. That's just there's a chromatic. There's a chromatic. 4-link. Is that a shield? 4-link shield. I'll keep that just for the heck of it. None of these items. These are all belts, necklaces, and gems. It looks like belt flasks. There we go. I'm just gonna let's toss that. Ah, there's a mallet. Let's go ahead and get this guy. Let's get this. All right, so we'll come back. There you go, 6 more chromatics. And look at the chromatics count we're up to. That's just a ridiculous number of chromatics. All right, let's go back and do magic. We're gonna keep the bow. Honestly, it's 4 greens, but I don't think those typically, I have a hard time selling those, so I'm not going to hold on to it. Really don't have a use for it. I don't have in this league, I don't have a ranger yet. I'm holding on to the 6 gem slot chest though. Not getting rid of that. The 4s, I'm just going to get rid of those. All right, cool. Hello. So there we go. We got roughly 30 chromatics out of the 7 tabs. Just from gathering up that stuff. So now let's see if we got any uniques that are hidden in any of our tabs that I forgot about, didn't pull out. Doesn't look like it. I pulled all the uniques out. All right, so let's go back and let's just start looking at these. So this is a 1-socket bow. So we're just going to do bows first. Let's do bows. Those are really hard for me to sell. Quivers also, unless you've got 5 or 6 stats on them, they're just not. That one's not bad. 25 maximum. It's level 23. This is 5, but it's only got 1 link, so quality's 14%, which is not bad. That one's not bad. It's got 40 to 100 physical damage. That's pretty good, but quite honestly, these bows, people are pretty picky on their bows. So like this one here, 30 to 81, it's got some elemental damage add on it. I'm going to keep that one. We'll keep that one and try to resell it. We'll come over here to bows. 4% increased speed. You would think people would snatch that, but they don't. This one's got 5 green gems. I'm going to leave that. This is just a chromatic. I missed this one earlier, so we're just going to sell that. Hello. And again, I'm going so fast, I'm probably going to miss some things, but we'll see. See how it works out. Let's do bow again. That one's 1956, level 35. Nobody's going to buy that one, probably. That one's got good stats. It's got 6 stats. It's corrupted though, so you can't really change a whole lot on that. This one is elemental damage. 12. That one's. I don't think anybody will purchase these. Yeah, so a lot of these bows, unless you want at least 4 gem sockets, and you want at least 4 or 5 stats on the bottom there. But even then, some of them are just not worth it. And the quivers, man, I have a tremendous amount of difficulty selling the quivers. But either way, I'm getting some alterations and some other cool stuff out of it. So let's go back and continue through our process here. I'm not going to keep that one. That one's not worth it. That one's worth it. It's got a lot of slots on it. I'm going to keep the corrupted one just in case. Nope, on that one. Now that quiver's got a lot of stats on it, so I'm going to hold on to that. It's a level 28, so we're going to hold on to that one. This one only has 4. It's a low level. I'm not going to hold on to it. Not going to hold on to that one. Nope. And no. All right, so let me sell these. So you see how it comes in handy having somebody really close that you can sell the items to. Move these guys down here so that I can fit more of the bows in my inventory. Sell 1 more each time. Yeah, it's only got 4 stats. Not keeping it. This one's got 5, but it's just not bleeding on hit. Nah, it's not anything super awesome. Now this one's level 56. 6 to 76 lightning damage. I don't think that's a great setup, but we're gonna hold on to it. 4 stats. Getting rid of it. This one's got some decent stats, but getting rid of it. Getting rid of that one, and gonna get rid of that one. Let me tell you. So as you can see, the bows take up a crazy amount of space in your inventory. Bow and all the like large axe and mallet type stuff. Oh, that one's actually got some decent level. It's got a good amount of damage on it, but we're gonna go ahead and toss it. I'm not gonna hold these larger items. Bows are really, like I said, are really hard to sell. All right, so yeah, these are all pretty much. That's a 4-link green. I'm gonna hold that one for just a minute or two. I may decide to come back and sell it. All right, go. And for those of you that just joined the stream, we're just doing some inventory management. Looking through all the loot we've got. This is an extra stream. I didn't plan to stream tonight, but wanted to stream items that we can kind of clear out of our inventory. Wow, this one's huge. What's crazy is it's 3 to 114 elemental damage addition on this. It does have 5 stats. Somebody at 44 is probably not gonna pick that one up, but I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold that one for a few minutes and see if it's worth it. We're going to get rid of that one. We're going to keep the 5 and the 6 gem slot ones. All right, so that should cover all the bows. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and throw our currencies into our stash. And let's see, what do we want to do? Well, let's do swords. Let's stick with the larger slot items. That one's actually not too bad. It's level 40 though, level 51 requirement. So the higher level you get, as players get really high levels, they're not going to buy these lower end items. Like this one's only got one link on it. This one's got a huge amount of accuracy, but honestly at 47 they're probably looking at larger or much better items. So we're just grabbing the ones that, if you don't have 5 stats at least, you're gone. And I don't think we're going to keep that. Two-handed are also, pretty critical on those. This adds fire and cold damage, increased attack speed. That's pretty good. Jump here. Oh, there you go. So this one, it's not the best, but it's got 6 stats on the bottom there. So we're going to hold on to that. This one's even better. Look at that. So we'll hold on to both of those and try to resell those. This one's not too bad, but we're going to get rid of it. This is a two-handed. Now we're not going to hold it. And we're going to toss this guy too. There's a white, that's a gold one with just one gem slot on it. There we go. Should you identify every item before you sell? I'm going to tell you, personally, I do, because you get more. So the real Shadex, you end up getting more currency. So I wish I'd actually kept a few. Let me see if I got a few items. I can kind of show you. I actually did a whole spreadsheet on this. If I could find an unidentified item or two. You know what? Let me just run. I'm going to jump out and grab a few unidentified items and kind of show you the difference in the amount of orbs you get. So let me jump out here, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to kill all these things. I heard some things drop. Sorry, I don't have all my guys ready. We should be able to get some loot from these guys. Alright, so let me turn off my loot filter and grab a few items so I can show you the difference, because ultimately, alright, so I should be picking these cloth belts up, that's for sure. So I'm gonna pick up all the magic items. I'm not gonna pick up the crap items. Let me grab about 4 or 5 more items here. Let me at least show you the difference. Hopefully we get some magic items here pretty quickly and some rares. Alright, so there we go. We got a couple more. Turn on the... There we go. We got a couple more items. So it's kind of funny. I had the filter on. It was filtering out all these cloth belts. These belts actually are pretty valuable for people that want to chance them. So be careful whatever filtering you've got turned on, because it will filter out, a lot of times it'll filter out all your jewelry and your rings. Alright, so that's good enough. I'm going to jump back and show you guys kind of the difference between what you get. Now, this may not be a great amount of detail, because before, when I did this, I had a lot more items. Alright, so I'm going to come over to Navali and I'm going to show you, I'm going to sell all these items here without identifying them. So you're going to get 1 scrap and you're going to get 17 orbs of transmutation shards. That's not even a full orb of transmutation. So that right there tells you how much. You're not even going to get a full orb of transmute, which is the bottom level. When you look at in your currency, orb of transmute is pretty much the lowest level. I mean, obviously your wisdom scrolls and your portal scrolls are the absolute bottom, but orb of transmutes are pretty low level. Most people don't identify them. They trade all the stuff in without identifying it. But scrolls of wisdom are extremely cheap. You can buy these by the ton, and if you come out here and you identify just a small little batch of things, and then we go back and sell, let's see what we got. So now we're going to get an alteration plus 8 alteration shards, and you're going to get 4 alchemy shards, and you're getting 2 scroll fragments. By far, that's probably 3 or 4 times the actual value, even though you're using the scrolls. So that's my personal belief. You know, if you're just wanting to run really fast and crazy and you're power leveling all the time and you don't have time for any of that, then absolutely just, you know, grab all the loot, grab all the blues and yellows and just dump them. But if you're, especially early in a league, when you start a league, you want to get some of these. This gives you a, you know, you're getting 3 different types of currency here. So do that, and now you turn all that in and you got a little bit more diversified. Orbs of Transmute are helpful because it converts a normal item to magic, but I'm going to be honest with you, I rarely use those. That's what you get if you don't use your wisdom scrolls on them. So that said, early in a league and even mid-league, Orb of Alterations, you can use those to then buy Chaos Orbs, which is pretty much the currency of choice. So hopefully that helps you out. It gives you some quick info there. And we're going to jump back and we're going to start looking at a few of the magic items. And like I was saying earlier, you guys may not have seen this earlier, but the flasks, I don't let flasks go. I probably should let the flasks go a lot of times, but I'm going to grab all those out of my dump tabs. The flasks, typically just grab them and turn them in without, you know, doing too much to them. If you're below the level of 40, you probably want to grab them and upgrade them. Watch some of my earlier videos. I show you how if you trade in multiples of the same type of flask, you can upgrade it. But typically, a lot of times what I do is I'll grab the flask and I come out here. I have a flask tab, and then I just dump them in here. And then I'll come back and I'll do a flask maintenance at one point. Now you definitely want to keep all the ones that have these little images inside of them. You know, you get a sulfur flask, diamond flask, perpetual topaz flask, all those kind of things. Those are what you want to use in in-game. So like right now, I don't have the best flasks equipped. I should probably do some maintenance on my belt here. I've got a divine flask sulfur, which gives me 40% increased damage. This one is bismuth. It gives me 35% increased elemental resistance. And this one right here is plus 3,000 to armor, which is a granite flask. Now, you'll want to, depending on what kind of battle you're going into, Stib Knights work great. That's evasion. Let's see here. Quicksilver is for speed. Almost everybody that is really good at the game does a lot of speed. So you want to keep a Quicksilver almost always on your belt. No problem, Shaddix. I was just trying to do, you know, I want to definitely answer the questions as they come in. This one here is lightning resistance. So what I found is there's some flasks that do fire resistance, lightning resistance, cold resistance. So if you're on a map like Act, you know, I think it's Act 5, the boss does a lot of fire damage. Before you go into that battle, you know, jump out here, change your flasks out, and grab whatever flask you need that does fire resistance. I've made that mistake far too many times, and that's really a kind of a newbie mistake that a lot of people make, and I still make it a lot, is when you're doing these boss runs, and whatever act you're in or whatever type of bosses you're running into, there's whole acts that are just fire. You know, come out, grab some fire resistance or elemental resistances and throw them on your belt. You don't always want magic and health. Most of your big streamers don't have any health or magic items on their belt. I do a couple health because I'm not the best at it. My health management, I'm not always watching over here. So, and as you work through your skill tree, you know, the more strength that you pick up, that adds health. And then obviously there's life. You know, when you pick up your life, that gives you better health. A red pull and then shield pull is a whole separate item there. Either way, hopefully those things help you guys out. Let me jump back in here, and like I said, tonight was just an extra night to do some maintenance on my inventory because I've been dumping a lot of stuff in here and trying to get rid of some of these items. Definitely ask questions as you see them. I don't mind jumping off topic to help answer questions. Look at there, I actually have an orb of scouring by accident in the middle of all that. All right. Oh, there's another somewhere in here. So when you beat the syndicate members, you end up with these items that have some squiggly character. There it is. So I got a belt here. So if you look at this belt, it's actually got some pretty crazy little squiggly characters going on. So I pick those up and I throw them over into a syndicate items tab. I've got a bunch of them. I just need to pull them over here. And then I've got an unidentified uniques that I also started populating. So we can come back and do some work on that. All right. So now let's look. I already looked at normal. I looked at magic, and I looked for uniques to find the random uniques. So now I just kind of go through, and if I see items that are worth of any value, I just grab them and move them over into my sell tabs. If you don't do a whole lot of selling, this is kind of not that great for you. I'm not going to keep a lot of things that like this one here, Zealot Helmet. The filters drop those guys for you because you can chance them, but I don't do a whole lot of chancing. I think chancing is it just absolutely, the RNG on it just absolutely stinks. So I pretty much just grab these guys, even though it tells me to pick them up. I just grab them. I'm not even going to try and sell them. I'm just going to throw those guys into a. I'll keep the belts because there's some really cool items you can get for belts. I'm just going to unload these guys because I really don't want to fool with doing that. Let's see if I can reorganize my inventory here enough to grab one more item. Maybe not. All right, so let's sell those. And that's why, you know, I love going ahead and identifying stuff because my goal is to build out my inventory of orbs and exalted orb. I've got my first exalted orb in this league dropped earlier today. So an exalted orb is worth about 160 to 170 chaos orbs. And chaos orbs is the primary currency that most people use. And to give you some context, these two poets pins I've got, each of these actually run about 170 to 185 chaos, or about 1 to 1.2 exalted orbs each. So I've been playing, I've got, you know, probably a good 200 hours in the game. And I actually have a few more than this. I've got in my other tabs, but I got about a dozen exalted orbs, plus, you know, 2 exalted orbs worth of chaos. So, you know, keep that in mind as you're deciding on if you want to identify items. All right, Tiger Sword, that's got nothing on it. It's just some links. So I found too, the staffs, unless it's a specific staff, there's a couple staffs that you run certain quests for. If it's not a specific quest item, I just pretty much grab them and toss them. The shields, however, I keep a few of the shields that see, this guy's got 7 stats on it. If you get shields, really any item with 6 or 7 stats on it, go ahead and keep it. It's worth it to try it out. This one here, these boots, increased rarity of items found. People are always looking for that. So the very last stat is 8% increased rarity. So what you get with that is if you wear those while you're out in battle, you end up with more drops. Now you really want to shoot for like 14 to 20% increased rarity. I actually have an increased rarity gem somewhere here. Let's see if I can find it. There it is, item rarity support. So this guy right here, this gem, honestly, if you end up with enough gem slots, I would grab this. I'm getting 54% increased rarity of items dropped by enemies slain from supported skills. So unfortunately, it only happens on Ice Nova. So what I should probably end up doing is I should probably throw that over here where my lightning support is. The problem is I lose casting support. Let's try that out. Let me pull my pins off. Oh, it's pins. Next time I run, I'll show you guys that. Sorry, I'm getting off topic a little bit. Faster casting support. I'm gonna pull that off, and I'm gonna put the item rarity support on there, and we'll put the faster casting on. We'll still keep it. It'll ultimately help. And for this guy in here, that's got the added lightning damage, the arc, and the item rarity. So arc is typically what I'm killing people, killing the other enemies with. Lightning Warp is just the wrap up there. Okay, so back to the task at hand, Wobeak. Now this is two-handed mace. It's got a lot of stats on it, but nobody buys those silly things. Nobody's going to buy the scepter here. The other thing you got to look at too, so that's a good chest, but it's, somebody might, this here is 3-link. Somebody would have to spend a lot of jewels and chromatics on this. I'm just going to toss it.
Hello.
And now when you're lower level, if you're below the level of, 30, and you're getting these items, you definitely want to hold on to them. There's another shield that I'm going to hold on to. I'm going to hold on to the helmets. My helmets typically sell pretty good. And like I said, that boot will sell good. Here's a two-handed staff. It's just not good enough. It's not good. These two-handed items typically cause me more inventory management issue than anything. So this one's pretty good. It's got a quality boost on it. It's got extra physical damage. We'll hold on to that one. The rare item there. Let's see. We'll hold on to our chest items. Chests do decent, especially 6 gem item chests go for pretty good. This one's pretty good, but I'm actually going to toss it. It's a level 40. When I say level, if you hold the Alt key, it shows you the item level. Item level 60 and up is where you really want to look for on a lot of items. So if this were an item level 60 or higher, I would hold on to it and use it in the chaos recipe. Which again, if you watch some of my earlier videos, you'll understand what the chaos recipe is. It's where you can turn in a full set of gear and get get a chaos. Let's see here. This one's not worth it. Actually, it is. I'm going to hold on to that one. Yep. So what you'll run into a lot of times, guys, is these items that take up all the space in your inventory. You don't want to manage your inventory while you're playing the game, or especially if you start streaming. But some of the items just take up so much space. Quivers, I said earlier, just not helpful. The larger shields are not helpful unless you get like this guy though. It's got 269 armor and it's got 7 stats on it. So I'm going to hold on to that. I could probably sell that for 5 alterations. I could probably get more, but I try to sell stuff and get rid of it quick. I find that the claws don't ever sell for me. And that one might sell. I'll hold on to that one. This one won't. There's an unidentified item. I'll have to fix that. One gem slot head, getting rid of it. Couple of unidentified items. 4, yeah, axes that only have 4 slots or 4 stats on them. This one's got, it's got 3 maximum plus 3 to maximum energy, 3.9 life regenerated. It's a level, if you have to be level 48. If you're wearing this at level 48, you probably need better gear than that. That's just not going to help you at all. All right, let's see here. Wow, I missed a lot of items on identifying. Let's see here. Claws, like I said, unless they're just really awesome. Claws, quivers, 8 slot, large items. Just be pretty selective on what you're keeping on those. Swords, there are so many swords, one-handed swords. Let me jump over here real quick. Look at all these. These are all one-handed swords. I haven't even identified these guys yet. These are all one-handed swords. These are item level 60 and above. So you kind of give you some context there. Just unload a lot of those guys. Now that one, it's got 8 stats, it looks like. I'm going to hold on to that one. Let me pull this guy over. As I'm going through my inventory, I try to, move things up high, kind of bundle things together. I keep all my rings and amulets. Those things end up reselling. So reselling, or you can use them for various recipes. So let's see here, get rid of that. And I find myself, I generally hold on to too many chest items. Quite honestly, if you've got chest items, you want to have 5 or 6 gem slot chest items if you're going to keep them. Otherwise, you end up just having inventory bloat. All right, just about through this first tab, doing pretty good. There's a five gem chest. It's normal white, but I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm gonna hold on to that one too. This one, it's only 2 gems. I'm gonna toss it. 2 gem slot, toss it. There's a huge staff. I can't remember. There's a couple staffs I need to hold on to. I probably need to do the little research. You get a couple achievements with a couple of the different staffs or a couple different weapons. And typically what I do on those is I just sell them when I get them, and then when I want to get the achievements during a league, I run out and buy them for 2 to 4 chaos. All right, so dump tab 0 is pretty much done. I'm gonna pull these flasks out, and if I keep enough of an audience, I may jump out and do the flasks at the end, but not everybody enjoys this type of content. It's kind of tedious. All right. Let's see here. Let's go to the next tab. Actually, let's jump back here. I'm going to grab all the belts. And we're going to go ahead and move all my belts. So I have belt tabs that I throw everything into. We'll do those real quick. Give you guys some kind of breakdown on why I keep all the belts. I was a little frustrated earlier. I did not realize my filter was dropping all the cloth belts out on me. Let's see, a couple more. There you go. All right, so now as I scroll out to all, so you guys, when you start the game, you definitely don't have all these loot tabs. You have 4 tabs. As you guys can see, I've spent a lot of money on adding all these tabs, and I've named them and I've colored them differently, so each thing has different meaning for me. But when you click this little, as you buy tabs, you click this little drop down right here. You can see them, and you can actually click on them, I think, and go straight to them. Yeah, so you click on it and go straight to it, so it makes it a little bit easier. But you can also scroll. If you hold your mouse over the actual tabs and scroll, it'll take you to, it'll move a little bit faster for you. So I'm going to kind of jump out to, I've got 5 or 6 tabs just for belts. Let's see here. There we go. So all these belts here are identified. These are white or normal rustic sash belts. All of these guys, I've got the chain belts, the heavy belts, the leather belts, the cloth belts, and the studded belts. Selling each of these for 1 jewel. People buy these by the bulk. Usually I sell 20 or 30 at a time. And what I do is literally just grab them and throw them out here. Now, I will tell you, some people want to buy 40, item level 40 or higher. See, that one I just dropped in there is 40. I'm going to move that one down a little bit. None of the others are 40. Most of these are like in the low 13 through 36, it looks like. So, yeah, so most of these, oh, there's a 42. So grab those and I'll pull those out. So I haven't done all my maintenance on those, but as you hover over them and you scroll up and you move up and down, you'll see the item level. So the reason why people want item level 40 or higher is when you use a chance orb on it in certain areas, you get a higher probability of getting bated breath and some of the higher end belts. So like I said, I did that for a while. I did some of the chancing, and it's just, you just blow through some inventory on chance orbs. All right, so that's all the rustic sashes. Let's see here. Let's do the chain belts next. These are blue, so I don't want to move the blue or the yellows in here. There's leather belts. Guys in here and see what's the difference in my leather belts here. Yeah, most of my leather belts are lower. They're all below 40. So I've sold all my 40 and higher. I had a guy the other day jump in and asked for 18, so I would rather sell them instead of trying to take the RNG chance of trying to get the awesome item. I'll sell all these and end up buying the items myself later. And actually, what I probably am going to end up doing is, since I'm getting such a huge quantity of these belts now, I'm probably just going to snatch out about half of the lower level guys and just mass sell them, because I don't want to have any more inventory chaos than I've already got. Right, all these guys are, so I'm actually surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if while I'm doing this, somebody chats and starts asking for these leather belts, because quite valuable to a lot of people. Some people will pay 2 or 3 alterations each. And again, the rustic sashes and the leather belts are the primary ones you should keep. Item level 40 and higher are the best. A lot of people keep the cloth and the others, but honestly, the chain, the heavy, the cloth, and the studded, I rarely sell those. So you're probably going to find your best value is to keep the leather belts and the rustic sashes. Everybody's mileage may vary, so try your own, test it out yourself and see what you think. Let's see. Run out of space real quick. So, all right. So now all I've got left in my inventory is blues and yellows. So I actually have another tab here. It's called Price to Jew, which is jewels. They truncate. When you say you want to sell it for 2 jewelers orbs, it truncates it to Jew. Now, by default, let me change this to 3. It will change your name, your title name, to Price 3 Jew. And what you want to do is you want to hit space and type in there what you've got. So it'll keep it. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll let you do. It won't let you completely overwrite it because it takes away what you had there. So you see how when I had it set to a specific full amount, see it says 2 jewelers. If I take this off and I start typing, it takes away that amount. So you pretty much are stuck with at least this first part, Price to Jew, and then you can add whatever details you want on the end of that if you're trying to sell stuff. Now again, you have to buy you have to pay for these tabs to either upgrade them or add quad tabs. Here's all my blue magic items. So let's grab the magic items. I'm just going to toss them in here for now. I'm not going to do any maintenance on these guys. Pretty much just, oops, is that a yellow? Yeah, I don't want to sell my yellows in the blue tab. All right, and blue. As you can see, I've sold a few of the blues. Like I had, I have some empty slots. All right, these 3 are yellow. So now we go to my 3 jewel belts and throw these out here. And I've sold some of these too. But honestly, here's a bated breath. No, actually, that's an agony leash. I'm wearing a prim weave rustic. But bated breath is one of the big ones that a lot of people try to get from the chancing the belts. All right, jump back and grab some more belts. And then I will, after I do one more stash tab worth of belts, we'll do a stash tab worth of amulets and rings and kind of talk through that with you guys. What's cool is, when you're picking up inventory, picking up the belts, the rings, the amulets, helmets, and boots and gloves, you want to kind of pick up a good mix of inventory, because especially if you have tabs and you're just coming back and dumping stuff, because that allows you to be able to fill up all the spots in your tabs. So if you just dump the 6 and 8 slot items, you're going to end up with a lot of it doesn't do, by default, Path of Exile does not do good inventory management. So I just picked up here's a cloth belt that's got it's a syndicate belt. So syndicate drop. Let me jump over to my syndicate items and drop that in there. I don't bypass any of my syndicate drops. I pick them all up. I then take them to June and get them identified, and often I will sell those for anywhere from pretty much 1 chaos is kind of the minimum. Not all of them are worth that, but everything I've done, You can pretty much get a chaos for a lot of those, especially as you level up fighting the syndicates. You get more crafting level. All right, there we go. So let's go to the belts. Dump these guys in. Dump these white belts in. So I could control click, but it sticks them all in the far left of the left-hand side. Really want to keep my inventory fairly well managed, so I take an extra second or two for each one. And now you guys know why I don't do this during gameplay. Gameplay would absolutely rot if you did this. It takes too much time. Somehow I got this guy on the wrong spot. Heavy belt. Belt. So now I'm already, so as you can see, I'm starting to run out of space. And that's the problem with keeping everything. A lot of people say don't keep everything. This is why. But I will tell you, if you guys look at my, money tab, I got a lot of money, and it's because I've been working the economy. All right. So I'm just going to drop these two guys in the first tab here. Let's grab a bunch of the rings and amulets. And let's go ahead and do jewels too, so you guys kind of get an idea on rings, amulets, and jewels. So I'm just going to grab a bunch of them. We're not going to do gems just yet. Jewels, rings, amulets. One thing again is if you get rings and amulets over item level 60, holding that Alt key over them and looking at them, you want to take those guys and either, if you can't resell them, use them for your chaos recipe. All right, so let's jump over, scroll out. I've got a tab called rings. Here we go, rings. And see, as if you can tell real quickly, I've lined up all my white rings. I pretty much list for one jeweler or one alteration. And then I've got some, this is actually what the identified syndicate rings look like. You end up with this light blue color on them. So this ring by default had 5 total stats. It had a prefix of adds 1 to 4 physical, and it had 4 suffixes. When I took it to June and got it identified, it added the 2 additional suffixes, plus 23 to maximum mana, and plus 4% damage taken as mana. I don't prefer that. A lot of people play with mana and use that as their health pool. That's an option. I haven't done too many builds with that, so you can really be successful with that if you have a tremendous amount of mana. So, you know, maybe Inquisitor or something, if you're using a staff and you're not doing too much casting, and you're not casting on and expending a tremendous amount of mana, maybe you could use mana as your health pool. And then here's another one. So this one had 1 prefix, and when I say prefix, if you look at the top, the very top line is between 2 yellow lines. The prefix adds 1 to 4 physical damage, and then suffix is the bottom items. It had 3 suffixes by default, and then when I took it to June, Jun, to get it identified from the syndicate quests, it added 2 more suffixes on there. I could probably easily sell each of these because they're rings, maybe for a chaos apiece. I don't know. I'd have to do a little research on poe.trade. But anyway, jump back real quick. All the white items, I pretty much keep all the rings and all the amulets. I think that's a lot of people. They will keep almost every ring and every amulet and every belt. They call them accessories. They keep the accessories, and then they try to resell those in bulk. So this item level is 46, so it's not super awesome. I'm going to kind of go through these real quick. On the right hand side, item level 55, 53, that's a jewel, 44, 42, 48. So I'm not quite to getting level 60 yet. When I hit level 60 item levels, I will have a massive amount of inventory because I won't be getting rid of those guys unless somebody wants to pay me for them. Pay me a sweet price for them, because I will take those, the junk rings and amulets. I'll take those and I will be turning those in for chaos on the chaos recipe. Let me buy these items real quick. Right. Jump back to rings. All right. So, like I said, I just take these guys out and I dump them into my inventory. Ruby rings. And I try to keep them separated. I try to keep the white rings, then blue or purple. And then, so normal is white, blue is magic, and yellow is rare. So I just grab these guys and I kind of throw them in. Try to keep them split out. So I won't go through all those items. Just wanted you guys to see all that. And hopefully that was helpful for you. But anyway, that's kind of a walkthrough of all the inventory. If you guys want to see more of this kind of stuff, then definitely let me know. Been going for about an hour now on just inventory management and kind of talking through that. So hopefully you guys that were watching enjoyed it. If I decide to put this out on YouTube, definitely guys hit the thumbs up, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. If you want to see just a detailed walkthrough on any type of inventory or stash tabs or any of that kind of stuff, let me know in the comments. As always, guys, enjoy the videos and help feed Big Mike. Thank you.